Congress keeps fighting. Democrats keep fighting. They can't decide on how much stimulus should be in this package. Should we go bigger? Should we go smaller? Should we add this? Should we add that? They cannot make up their mind. But the good news is they are moving forward. The bad news is they are moving so slow. Right now, as of recording this video, the House Rules Committee is still in their meeting. They're still in their meeting. And they can't send the bill over to the full House for a debate and then a possible vote until after the House Rules Committee is adjourned. So, we are still waiting on that. But first, before I get to the update, I just want to thank you guys for continuing to watch, continue to support me here on this channel. If you can, do me a favor, go ahead and smash that like button. It does help out the video a great deal. So, just thank you for doing that. Now, according to a few representatives within the House, they don't expect this bill to pass until sometime around roughly 3 a.m. Saturday morning. Yes, when we were hearing reports that the House is going to vote on this bill on Friday, great, we're thinking, yes, it's going to get done on Friday. But now they're going to be pushing it back. They're going to be voting into the evening because that's how slow they are. So, not only that, but more reports out this afternoon now indicate that a handful of Democrats don't feel their Plan B idea that I addressed earlier on today will even work. They are saying that right now, with only 2 weeks left, which would be 10 working days starting on Monday and ending in 2 weeks from today, that the March 14th deadline is coming up too quick and there's not enough time to put together a complicated tax bill as a workaround for the $15 federal minimum wage increase. It is difficult. It is so exhausting to go and read these articles and watch these reports and watch interviews and press conferences with all of our congressional leaders that we have voted into office, and they can't figure anything out. It makes me wonder, why did we even vote any of these people into office? It's just frustrating, and I'm pretty sure you feel the exact same way. Now, we know that Democrats are doing all they can at this point to get the $15 federal minimum wage included. The problem is, the only way to get this included is to do a standalone bill. The only way to do a standalone bill is to get 60 votes, or to pretty much get past the filibuster, which means we got to get rid of it, and many Democrats don't want to do that. So, even though Democrats have all the power in the world, they cannot get anything done because they are trying to go against the rules that have been put in place for years. And I'm pretty sure somebody like, President Biden would know this, which he said this a couple weeks ago on Friday, that he's pretty sure the $15 minimum wage provision would be axed from this bill, which it just was. So, however, some are saying that even though the $15 federal minimum wage is still trying to be included, some are saying that there's even more hurdles now that this bill can't be included under the Senate rules. So, which makes me I'm just baffled, is so these senators that have been there for years, some decades, they don't understand what can and can't be put into this bill. And now they're saying that there's even more hurdles now than when the $15 federal minimum wage was actually included. Again, just completely baffled. Not only that, but with a large group of progressives currently fighting to end the filibuster, we know that a handful of Democrats will not support this. Joe Manchin will not support this. We know President Biden does not want to do this. We know Kamala Harris would not support this either. So, this is not going to get done. And this is what's making progressives very upset. And even Nancy Pelosi, she had a press conference today, and when Nancy Pelosi was asked if the Senate what they should do regarding the $15 federal minimum wage increase, she had this to say, and I quote, "I don't get involved in the rules of the United States Senate, but as a matter of values, I can just say we will not rest until we pass the $15 minimum wage." And she also said that it might not be in this bill, but they will include it at some point, and chances are it would just be in a standalone bill. But when she was asked if Democrats will wait on the roughly $1.9 trillion stimulus package to ensure that the wage increase is included, whether it's going to be a standalone bill somewhat tied to this, again, it has passed as a standalone bill because it doesn't fall within the guidelines of the budget reconciliation. But Nancy Pelosi said no. The American people called on us for relief, and we must deliver. So, according to Nancy Pelosi, this bill this package of roughly $1.9 trillion will pass with or without the minimum wage provision, and this will pass with or without a $15 wage or per hour workaround. So this is the last thing from Nancy Pelosi. I promise. I know I've been talking about her too much, and some of you guys are probably like, again with Nancy Pelosi, who cares? I get it. But she did reiterate, and this is good news, this would not be the last bill that we see. She states that there will be more standalone bills to help the American people in the future, but as to what is going to be included in those bills, honestly, we don't know. I could try to speculate, but what's the point? Congress is just going to change it, so there's really no need to do that. Now, what I can tell you, again, it is good news that we will for sure have additional stimulus checks. The amount is most likely going to be $1,400. We will have more unemployment pay plus a weekly bonus. That weekly bonus will probably be $400. The unemployment pay will go until August 29th. I don't see this getting extended. I don't see this getting even shorter, but we will see. There will be state and local government funding, vaccine aid, school funding, rental and nutrition assistance. There will be child tax credits and earned income credits as well. That is what we know will be in this package. And right now, the big thing that's currently being talked about is that by adding in these tax penalties to large corporations that don't pay their workers at least a livable wage of $15 per hour, the problem is that reports out just probably about an hour ago indicate that too many people would be left out if this is passed. Some states are saying that many workers would not qualify based on the initial reports as to how the bill could be written. One report that came from Jeff Stein, who's a reporter for the Washington Post, he stated that just in Oregon alone, 20% of their workers do not work for a corporation that has over 500 employees. So because of that, they would not qualify for that tax penalty, or as a small business of 500 employees, right? But they would not qualify, so that business would not have to pay those employees the $15 per hour minimum wage, or they wouldn't get paid or have to pay those tax penalties that they'd get assessed at the end of the year. So what we are hearing is that this would unfairly benefit the workers of the large corporations, which would hurt hiring for smaller businesses. Because just think about it. If you can decide I'm going to go work for, company XYZ corporation, or I'm going to work for a mom and pop shop, right? The mom and pop shop is going to pay you, let's say $9.50, and XYZ corporation is going to pay you $15 per hour. Which one are you going to go to? Probably the one that pays $15 an hour. So what's going to happen there? Well, this corporation is going to have to raise their prices. They're going to have to pay more. They're going to pay more in insurance, all this stuff, right? Pay more. But at the same time, if every single worker goes to work for that company, that corporation, the small mom and pop shop, guess what? They go under. It's going to happen. I guarantee you it's going to happen. So this $15 minimum wage workaround is probably not the best way to do it. And right now, Democrats are just trying to plow through whatever they can. I'm not trying to bash on Democrats here, but if they do this and they don't think things through clearly, there's going to be more issues to come than just what they are currently seeing. So yes, right now Democrats are fighting over everything, not just the minimum wage, okay, stimulus checks, unemployment benefits, child tax credits, earned income credits. I don't think there's a single thing they aren't fighting over right now. And it's led by a large group of progressives. And not only are Democrats trying to figure out a way to include the $15 minimum wage workaround, but they're also trying to figure out how they can spend the $77 billion that will now be available because it won't be allocated to the $15 minimum wage. So here's what we know. Some are saying just give it to the American people. That would be great. That would mean a larger stimulus check. Well, roughly, I'm just going to say roughly because I don't know exactly how many people are going to get the new stimulus check of $1,400. But what we do know is if you divide, let's say, 77 billion by 160 million people, and the number should actually be higher than that, but I'm just going to go with 160. What we know is that would come out to roughly $480 per person, things like $481. But let's say it's just $450 per person as an additional stimulus check. That would take a $1,400 stimulus check, put $450 back on top of that, and you have an $1,850 stimulus check to every single American that is eligible for a stimulus check. That right there is what some are saying is a good idea. Others say, no. Let's not spend it. Let's just save it. Let's make this package cheaper, because a cheaper package would be better. Well, guess who's saying that? Yeah, Republicans. So, as of right now, that is what we know. There's so much fighting. There's so much talks. There's so many ideas just floating around that honestly nobody can come up with the right idea and the right solution. So, we just have to wait and see, twiddle our thumbs, and just figure out, okay, when is this actually happening? Now, I am not going to sit around and wait for the House to vote on this bill. Hopefully when I do an update tomorrow morning, when I do it at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, it will be passed by that time, I hope. But we will see. I just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Have an incredible Friday evening, and have an incredible weekend as well. Again, I just want to thank you guys for watching. You are incredible. Thank you for always supporting me here on the channel and always asking your questions down in the comment section below. Again, I use those questions to provide you updates on these videos. So again, thank you for that. As always, consider subscribing so you don't miss any more updates, and I'll see you guys on the next one.